1 month ago, U.S. expects to begin delivering Abrams tanks to Ukraine in September.
We've also expedited our M1 Abrams timelines to supply Ukraine with more armored capability in the coming months.
U.S. Abrams tanks are likely to arrive on the Ukrainian battlefield in this month, according to 6 people familiar with the planning. As Kyiv's forces push to retake territory in a counteroffensive that is picking up steam.
And the M1s that the Ukrainians will use for training will arrive here in Germany in the next few weeks.
The plan is to send a handful of Abrams tanks to Germany in August, where they will undergo final refurbishments. Once that process is complete, the first batch of Abrams will be shipped to Ukraine. The potential August and September deliveries mark the most specific time frame provided for when America's main battle tank is expected to roll onto the battlefield. Pentagon officials have previously said the Abrams would be in Ukrainian hands sometime in the fall. The U.S. is sending older M1A1 models instead of the more modern A2 version, which would have taken a year to get to Ukraine. The Biden administration has said it wants to deliver more weapons to Ukraine as quickly as possible, both to assist with the counteroffensive and bolster the nation's defenses for the long term. Besides the tanks, the U.S. wants to start training Ukrainian pilots on F-16 fighter jets before warplanes are delivered, possibly by the end of the year. The arrival of the tanks in this week will add a new lethal dimension to Ukraine's inventory as its forces struggle to break through entrenched Russian defenses along a front line that stretches for hundreds of miles. Although Ukrainian troops have made some advances on one axis of attack in recent days, they are taking heavy artillery and aircraft fire as they move slowly through dense minefields and enemy foxholes. The initial batch will involve 6 to 8 tanks, said the industry official and the congressional aide. In total, the U.S. is planning to send 31 tanks, a Ukrainian battalion's worth. Before Ukrainian forces can begin operating the tanks, they have to wrap up a roughly 10-week course on 31 trainer tanks at the Grafenmoor Army base in Germany. The Ukrainians are slated to finish that training in August. Nowadays, a group of Ukrainian soldiers have completed a training program on U.S. M1 Abrams tanks. Around 200 Ukrainians have practiced on trainer tanks at U.S. Army training areas in Germany, said spokesperson Colonel Martin O'Donnell. The soldiers recently completed one of the last phases of the program, a combined arms, battalion force-on-force exercise at Hohenfels training area. The soldiers are working to ensure they stay proficient on the tanks at Grafenmoor Army Base in Germany until the tanks are ready for the battlefield. Western officials hope the arrival of the tanks will give Kyiv's forces the edge they need to push through Russia's fierce defenses in their grueling counteroffensive.
Skirt.
10 of the 70-ton tanks are currently in Germany undergoing final refurbishments. Once that is complete, they will be shipped to Ukraine.
On the way! Send it.
The news comes as U.S. and Ukrainian officials said that Ukraine had penetrated Russia's main defensive line for the first time in the country's southeast, raising their hopes that Ukraine may be able to begin retaking significant territory. U.S. officials hope that the Abrams tanks, when they do arrive, can help give Ukraine an edge as it struggles to retake territory. Tanks are very important, both to the defense and the offense. Upgraded modern tanks, the training that goes with it, the ability to use them, will be fundamental to Ukrainian success. The Abrams is one hell of an armored vehicle, but it's not a silver bullet. Ultimately, it's Ukraine's determination to break through that matters most. The Abrams tanks are part of a force of roughly 300 tanks pledged by Western allies, including Leopard 2 tanks from Spain and Germany, Challenger tanks from the UK, and light Leclerc tanks from France. The effectiveness of the U.S. Abrams tank in a potential conflict with Russia would depend on a variety of factors, including the specific circumstances of the conflict, the terrain, and the tactics employed by both sides. But it's important to note that military technology and strategies can change over time. It's important to note that no single piece of military equipment, including tanks, can guarantee victory in a conflict. The outcome of a military engagement depends on the interplay of numerous factors. The effectiveness of the U.S. Abrams tank in a potential conflict with Russia would depend on a variety of factors, including the specific circumstances of the conflict, the terrain, and the tactics employed by both sides. But it's important to note that military technology and strategies can change over time. It's important to note that no single piece of military equipment, including tanks, can guarantee victory in a conflict. The outcome of a military engagement depends on the interplay of numerous factors.